Hey internet, I'm back up on my bullshit. I just want to talk about the proposed changes that I could see for Nina in season 2. And obviously this is subjective, so you may have a better idea, the Nam cops might have a better idea of what exactly they want to do with this character. But I just want to say my own thoughts out. And also, just to get it out of the way, most of my thoughts here, I want her to be nerfed. Nina has been, I feel like I overlooked Nina. Like, I've always thought she was top tier, but on paper, once I see it laid out in front of me, it's like, oh my gosh, she is really a monster. Like, for the fact that she has 27 counter hit launchers is insane. And I think a lot of us Ninas are not appreciating that enough. But let's just get into the changes that I have put down. Down 4-1-2 forward, this move, I think I have the game audio turned off, is insane. It just needs to be reverted back to -3 because being able to do this it's just game breaking. It's like a tool that has way too much leverage and too much things that they could do upon it. It's honestly a bit too much. And having wall standing 4, being able to do slide when they decide to do jabs, then you have the counter hit options of being able to just get a counter hit from doing your mid or doing your high is a bit ridiculous, to say the least. So being able to do those two options is like, it's a lot going on. And then you have sidestep 1 as well, so it's like, and they could stop at any point. They could just do this because of the threat of wall standing 4 being there, or just stopping and doing something completely else. It's so many, she's so expressive in this move that it's too overly expressive amount of options she can do. It's insane. And don't forget, she could Hayashida this, like, it's because she's only -3 on it, so it's doing too much. It's doing way too much. And I feel like going forward, this being taken away on block would help so much, being able to combat it. Alongside, I think the going into another change, I want this removed. I just don't think it should be in down 4-1-2 string anymore. It's having that double counter hit launcher on both options is overly powerful. Instead, she should be reverted back to her snake grab being in the string again. So I would rather that be back, because it's just, off the top of my head I can't remember the name of the move, but yeah, that being back would just be better, because at least the opponent, if you're ducking, you're not, you get a chance to still escape and not take as much damage as you would have from a counter hit launcher, or being in a bad position being at the wall, getting put into a heat situation. All of that would be suppressed because you would just be dealing with the string. You would just be dealing with the chain string, which honestly I feel like for Nina to be a chain character, she doesn't have they took away too many where you can't even do it anymore. So I definitely think that should be outside of like a 13 frame Punisher, and most of you Ninas don't do it, so I definitely would love for that to return. Another problematic move, to me at first I didn't think it as problematic, and that was back 2-2, but it is a really strong move. And I think the ways that I still want it to be a good move, but I want it to be nerfed because of the simple fact it covers too many things. Like, one back 2-2 is pretty good, it's +5. On block, it's, I believe, like -6. So you have a lot you could do there. Like, you can now delay the fuck out of your counter hit launcher, or just do it, because most people do mash. You can also cancel and step. You can do nothing. It's on -6, you can even potentially step the opponent for doing something so linear or reacting way too slow. So back 2-2, it has a lot of leeway in doing stuff, and I think the change here should be that back 2-2 on block should be -8, and you shouldn't be able to delay this. It's either you do it or you don't. Being able to delay it it's a lot of, like, it's too many mind games off a really already powerful 12 frame high tracking, because I definitely wanted to stay tracking. I think it was needed for her, like, up close pressure game, but I think having the amount of options she has after doing the move is a bit obsessive. And I think the other change I would make is make it at 13 frames instead of 12 frames, because honestly, a lot of the scenarios of where it becomes OD is on scenarios where, like, he being only plus, being able to allow the opponent to at least trade with a jab or do jig jab would definitely help her, or help the opponent, because it wouldn't feel as OD. And alongside of down 4-1-2, because you could easily just do this. There's so many times I just do that because I know most people are either waiting for the follow-up or they're not. So, or they're like hesitating because they see me do this. Like, it's, once again, these are two really good fast kit moves that just complement each other really well in this game, and it really makes Nina shine and why she's one of the top characters. Going into the next thing, I want forward 1+2 to be gone as a heat engager. Like, I should have been more specific because it's our only power crush, but how it was in 7 was perfectly fine. I still used it in 7. I think it being a heat engager is really obnoxious because now Nina is a walking, like, you can't really like counter her much outside of like attempting to grab her or trying to do a low to beat her or doing a quick move. Like, those are the real counter. But even then, Blind Bomb will sometimes just, like, depending on the frame advantage and disadvantage, Blind Bomb will just hit and be able to allow her to get a lot of mean damage off if you end up just getting hit. So, like, almost 50 damage just off of just getting hit by a Blind Bomb, which is also free because she's +5 afterwards. I think that should just go because it's obviously one of the most popular heat engagers, and it's too much. I've never been a fan of power crushing heat engagers. I think they're stupid because the purpose of the move was to be a power crush, not do. I hate dual button moves, if you can't tell, with down 4-1-2, back 2-2, and Blind Bomb. But okay, so now you're probably wondering, well, if that's removed, what's her new 5th heat engager? I think it should be 4-4-2. Like, 4-4-2, definitely, I can easily see them changing this to be a heat engager. It's already not really used enough. And also, I would probably change it to be -2 on block, just to make people want to use it more. Because outside of that, you got this, but you have to kind of hit confirm that. You have the running Blind Bomb, which I figured they'd probably keep the same. And I think just 4-4-2 would just be another good little high option that's relatively safe, because all her other options were pretty unsafe to go for outside of running Blind Bomb. So yeah, like, I think because this is -14, so yeah, I think having 4-4-2 be the new heat engager for her and make it -2 instead of 4 would be really nice for her to be able to just throw out that heat engager and try to get that and make the move more useful than what it is, because no one uses that shit. Another change I would recommend is the back 1-4. Like, I think the counter hit on this has got to go. It's just a random counter hit that this move already serves a purpose of being a punish, because it's our really good 12 frame punish. It does 32 on damage. It has a counter hit on it, but it does 32, and that's really strong, and you're +7. So having the counter hit is a lot. It's a lot. But also, what I would put in with it is to make it be the new super aerial tailspin, because I could see people like doing this into that, and then, you know, wall travel. I feel like, especially because Nina's current super aerial is checking too many boxes, that would be a pretty good one. And obviously make it not tornado anymore. It would be, because no one uses that shit for tornado at all. But back 1-4 being a new aerial tailspin, I could definitely see that, because it already looks like it already lifts them up in the air anyway. So I can see it, but it wouldn't be that bad to do. So speaking of down back 2, I wouldn't have this. We all know that this is a monster of super aerial tailspins. Definitely would get rid of it. not needed. Yeah, I just wouldn't have it do that anymore, and I wouldn't have it wall crumble, which I don't even think a lot of people will know it does that. But yeah, oh, it's on counter hit. Hold on, my bad. Yeah, wall crumbles, and I feel like that should not. It don't need to do that. It's perfectly fine just having being a 20 frame counter hit launcher tracking move, because it's relatively slow. You still have to be kind of wise. You have to be wise on your distance, and it still pairs really well with QCF3 and other approaching tools that are at a distance for Nina, because you have to really be mindful of your range with Nina, because that's her biggest weakness, but it really does help. And it's -5 on block. It not knocking down anymore is perfectly fine. And yeah, it's a really good tool. It's a really good tool, and it shouldn't be doing the other things that it already does. Now, what's not a really good tool for a tracking is 1+2. It really has found no purpose in this game. It doesn't wall splat anymore. It's +8, but it has a lot of pushback. But I think if this had got the crumble, you will definitely see a rise of Nina's doing this, because now you could do sidestep 4 into this and be able to do any type of pressure, because then you'll be +20 at the wall. So they'll have to be forced to eat whatever you're gonna do right after it. And that would definitely help 1+2 out, because like I said, look at that pushback. Where's Nina gonna? No, it's not. Making it more of a tool to use at the wall would be really nice for us to see that happen. Another change that I would love to see is 443. I would like to not see this move counter hit launch anymore. I don't use it for counter hit purposes. I very rarely try to use it in that instance. I would rather it have a purpose of it being a keep out tool, or a move to, a keep out tool, because just to keep the opponent at bay. And I would make it not be as negative as it is now, because it's -14. That's really why Ninas don't use it, because yes, it's counter hit launcher, but I don't use it in that purpose of keep out. I would rather use down back 2, which is much slower, but if you know your opponent is coming up, you're going to do this move. So 443 would just be a better keep out tool, just by making it less negative on block by -11 or -10. And it would just knock down on normal hit, kind of similar to how down back 2 used to in the old games. That way we have that old move, but it doesn't scratch all the boxes of what down back 2 already does. So I would love to use 443 in that aspect. I feel like a lot of her 4-4 moves have no purpose, especially they made that move really good, but or decent, but a lot of the other 4-4 moves really don't have any love with Nina in this game. So I would love to see that be changed. Lastly, this is I don't know what new move she'll get, but if she could get an old new move, this is kind of it would be wall standing back 1. I would love to see that move come back. It's so good, especially with heat engagers seeming to go into crouch status afterwards, which is totally fine. I'm not tripping about that, but I would love to have that counter hit threat for her, especially as a character who really has to stay close. But speaking of counter hits, so you're probably didn't you say she has 27 counter hits? I would remove so many of these counter hits. They're so unnecessary. Let's just go ahead and talk about the ones that I feel like that should definitely be. I feel like this gotta go. I don't know why she still has the magic 4. I don't get the purpose of I get it, they trying to make magic 4s you have to continue the string in order to get them, but doing them by themselves doesn't do anything. I don't think Nina really needs magic 4. She'll be perfectly fine without it. It's something that good, but I trust me, I would not use it for that aspect. Using 4-4 I feel was meant to be more of a mix-up tool now with the 3+4 and the 4-4. And speaking of 4-4, this has got to go. We do not need this counter hit. It's such a niche, hard counter hit to get that you most likely will not get on an experienced player, because they will know to duck this and know that they could semi-duck that. They could fuzzy duck that as well. So it's a counter hit we don't need. it has got to go. It's just random. Sidestep 4-2. A lot of Ninas are gonna hate me for this. I think it should go. I don't think it should be a counter hit launcher. This was something that they buffed from the CBT, and I at first was like, yeah, you know, cool. But then I was like, actually, we ain't need that. Like, Sidestep 4 was one of the best, like, underrated lows in T7, but that's because, you know, motherfuckers was dealing with 2Ds. But in this game too, it's still a really good, like, yes, it super aerial, I mean not super aerial, it tornadoes automatically, but I think even that is a bit much. It's just like, it's easy to just get to the wall with just not hard execution and being able to access heat and doing a shit ton of damage. It's just really strong, and I felt like it just being a move you use to get your plus, like your +6, and just normally knocking down was perfectly fine. Like, getting that free follow-up, that was perfectly fine, and just being able to guarantee that and being able to just have a relatively safe knockdown low high was fine. It was perfectly fine. I just don't, I feel like reverted back from the CVT is basically what I'm saying. Like I've already stated, down 4 1-2 1+2 gotta go. This move, making him hit her, that can go too. That being a counter hit launcher is just like, it's a -12 mid, y'all. That already, if you get that part, guarantees that, and then you get like free Oki that, like, you 4-4-3 close to the wall, or QCF2 or QCF3 if you feel like it's not gonna reach like how it did 2 seconds ago. It's already a solid mid that literally, I mean, obviously it, like some people will, but it's a high from down 4-3. You could easily do this and keep them in check on ducking after down 4-3-2, or if they're not even quick with their fuzzy ducks, you have this, you have that. So it's like, it's no reason for that to be a counter hit launcher. We already touched on back 1-4. 1-4 should go as well. I think this being just there, like, it gives so much damage. Like, I don't think people are aware of that. I'm dropping combos because, you know, YouTube curse. Not even that strong of a damage, but 84 off of that. 84 off of that. Didn't even maximize it completely. But just from that example alone, it's like, that is such a strong tool to be able to get almost half the opponent's health bar so easily. And I think just because simply, and a lot of people don't even duck it, is the funny part, because I feel like that's the main reason that it's kind of excused as a counter hit, which at the same time, people aren't really, most of the times when I catch them with 1-4, they're stepping, they're completely stepping and having. But the point of Nina, when opponents do end up stepping, you have literally 4 tracking moves: down, back 2, 2-2. You have 1+2, 3+4. So having this, being able to counter hit just because the opponent decided to attack too soon, it's a lot, dude. I feel like that's too much. It's very much like, oh my god, why does she have this counter hit? Like, it's too good. It's really good. And 4-4-3, like I said, should be gone. But that's it. I have eliminated maybe 9 counter hits, and the rest of them she still has, plus the heat engagers, and that's around, like, I think 18, like I've listed probably. I think those ones could stay because those ones are pretty useful, and they have obvious counterplays to them. And one of them I put in there, I put forward to 1-4, which it's quite hard unless you know how to micro dash really well. Like, it's gonna take me a mean ass minute to get it.
2 hours later.
Oh fuck, I got it. Easy. JK. But yeah, so it's, you know, she would still be really strong with just those much less counter hits, and she would definitely be put into the B tier. I wouldn't change her heat, and I know some people would argue with me about this, but I don't care because I'm a Nina player. But And it's not even biased. It's more because I don't feel like her heat is much better than a lot of the previously used versions of those moves. Like this, oh, not this, but this used to be way better when it was just wall standing 4-3. Because, you know, free follow-up and neutral, like you have to risk doing this for a splat at the wall. And it does have some type of range. It's like okay change. But obviously if you have the guns, you get that, which is decent damage. This doesn't always wall splat. I completely missed the old one, but 58 damage is 58 damage. I can't talk shit about it too much, but it's really up to whoever. Like I personally still miss the old one. I'm not a really big fan of guns being, you know, being the thing. Obviously this is, I love this, but and then after what, QCF 4-3, yeah, the old QCF 4-2-3 used to be much better because it was good for Oki when you would do it after the instant wall standing one, then do it to get a re-pick up and combo, and then it gave clean splat like for easy travel. That move was so fucking good. And obviously butterflies was so helpful in combos, but you know they want us to use reverse ivory cutter and QCF1 motherfuckers to the wall. But yeah, I miss the old versions much more than the new version. I just really prefer that Nina. But here we are. And I don't think, like, outside, they may damage guns a little bit, but I don't know if I'll even see that because so many heat tools are purposely supposed to be obnoxious, like on damage. But I think the problem with heat is still with heat tracking for sure, because I've more times out of 10 I rarely get guns off on people. Like it's give or take, but when you do get it, it's like, damn, glad I was in heat. But or more I would use Blom Bomb to catch them, because at the end of the day guns are a high and it's duck and launch them motherfuckers. But anyways, those are my proposed Nina changes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me down below what you think should be changed, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.